Good afternoon, children. Welcome back to the web classes, Kerala Public School. Now, chapter number 3, part 1 is over. As I have promised you yesterday, I am going to discuss the long answers today. Short answers you can do yourself after reading the chapter thoroughly. You can do it? Yes? So let me proceed to question number 1. What measures did the parents of the young seagull adopt to persuade him to fly? That's the first question. Do you think it is an example of good parenting? That means, can you justify the action of the parents? The question is, what measures did the parents of the young seagull adopt? First, you have to explain the situation which compelled them to take some measures. So, we can start this way. The young seagull was scared to fly. He did not trust his wings. He thought that his wings would not support him and he would fall down and die. His siblings, that means brothers and sisters, did not feel any fear and they flew away. But the young seagull, though he was the eldest, with a stronger wing, couldn't take that plunge. The parents tried to encourage him. That was the first step. They came to him, called to him shrilly, but in vain. It was of no use. Then they adopted another method. They upbraided him. That means they scolded him for being a coward. Still, he did not dare. Thirdly, they became harsh. They threatened to starve him on his sledge. Finally, when they found the young seagull not ready to leave the foothold, they left him all alone. It was a joint decision. The family stood unitedly in their decision. Definitely, I believe it's an example of good parenting. A good parenting helps the child to become independent. A good parenting helps the child to be confident. A good parenting means making the child practical and finally a successful one. So I think the strict measures that the parents adopted are highly justifiable. Otherwise, the young seagull would have remained as a timid, fearful, and worthless being. Is it clear? First, you have to tell the situation, how the young seagull was left alone, then the measures that the parents adopted, what compelled them to adopt such harsh measures at the last. Then you have to justify that their actions, you have to justify them that they were good parents. Okay? The first question is over. Now let us go to the second question. Another one. There is a proverb. Spare the rod and spoil the child. Do you agree with the saying? Do you think the young seagull was not ready to fly due to the lenient treatment by his family? What made him fly later on? Do you know the meaning of spare the rod and spoil the child? That means punishing the child whenever he makes some mistake. So it's a kind of disciplining the child. So first you have to explain, spare the rod and spoil the child. Spare the rod and spoil the child is a proverb. That means lenient treatment from the parents' side often spoils the child. If a parent refuses to punish an unruly child, an indisciplined child, that child will grow rebellious, defiant, or destructive in future. Discipline is necessary for good upbringing. Discipline is critical for wisdom. But no discipline feels good while it is happening, but later it is richly rewarded. When we consider the case of the young seagull, we can see that the rod did not work. You also agree with me? Yes, the rod did not work. The harsh punishment did not work. Though he was left alone for 24 hours, though he remained hungry for 24 hours, no wonder happened. He flew only when he was given the greed. The mother motivated him. She tempted him with a piece of fish. She knew the weakness of the child. She made use of that weakness. Being a mother, being a parent, she knew the weakness of the child. The driving force behind him in leaving the foothold was not punishment, but the greed of food. Otherwise, it was a matter of life and death for him. He would have starved to death. He would have died without food. So it became a necessity for him. The desire to fill his stomach drove him out of the ledge. Really, you just see. The hunger drove him out of the ledge. So, in my opinion, it is not the road, but the necessity is the driving force. Thank you. We will discuss next 2 more questions on the next day. Thank you.